All right, just like that, we are live. Oh no, let's see, we're on Instagram. There we go. We'll make it Instagram, we'll make it LinkedIn. Eventually, we will make it YouTube, but for right now, we'll just make it those right there. Anthony, do appreciate this story today. This one's coming from you, which of course we appreciate. Oracle, which we all know, Oracle cloud service. We deal with them a lot in our industry. It's where people house in the cloud their files, their storage units. They are your quintessential AI company. They have decided this morning with an email, to of all things, to lay off thousands of employees across the world. Some estimates say that it's going to be about 12,000 employees in India alone. There have already been an estimated 10,000 that have received this email, which we're going to read to you in just a second right now. But it speaks to a broader picture that's going on. I was just, we were researching this story. 70 plus tech giants across the world have done layoffs in 2026. Meta last week was doing their layoffs, and now we've got Oracle doing theirs. Oracle's got an estimated 162,000 employees. So we're not talking about a small number. We're talking upwards of 10 to 20% of their workforce being laid off right now. And of all things, they're deciding to do it through an email, everybody. So you wake up, you decide you're going to hop into your work email. Maybe you're getting up, having your coffee, figuring out what your day is going to look like. And folks, this is what you get right here. I can't make this up. I want to quote it right here for you. You open it up and it says, "We are sharing some difficult news regarding your position. After careful consideration of Oracle's current business needs, we have made the decision to eliminate your role as part of a broader organizational change. As a result, today is your last day working here. We are grateful." I'm sorry, but I mean, like, just the balls to do this. "We are grateful for your dedication, hard work, and impact you have made during your time with us. After signing your termination paperwork, you'll be eligible to receive a severance package subject to the terms and conditions of your severance plan. You will receive an email from DocuSign to your Oracle email to address with details on that severance package and termination date." And then it tells you further immediate actions required. You got to respond with your personal email, as your work email is going to be shut off, everybody. So you basically sit down at your dining room table for breakfast. You're having a morning cup of coffee, maybe saying goodbye to your husband or wife, and you open it up to this email right here. It is brutal to have this happen. And this is a big trend. You've seen this before. This is not the first company that has elected to do things this way. And what I want to talk about, though, is not only, number one, the way that people terminate right now. I think that this would have been a huge story 10 years ago, the fashion in which they terminated thousands of people from their work and their jobs, their livelihood, for their families. Today, this has almost become par for the course.
That's become the norm.
It is, especially in tech.
Yeah.
In tech, it seems as though you just kind of expect that if your job is no longer available, you're just going to get an email, maybe even a text, and they're just going to say, "Hey, don't show up anymore. You're good. Bye. See you later. Sign right here. We'll send you the money," and that's it. I don't know if this is good. I go back and forth on this. Is it good? Is it bad? Because in some ways, it's very black and white. It allows somebody, "Hey, you don't have a job anymore. Here's your paperwork. You don't have it." On the other hand, it does take away some of that personal side that somebody might feel after giving years of their life to a company in an effort to further some kind of mission. And I don't want to be naive to that either. I think that for small businesses, this is still something that's not acceptable. Small businesses being under 500 employees, you couldn't lay off 20% of your workforce and expect that that would be acceptable. And I think that one of the good things that something like Google Reviews or Glassdoor does is it prevents companies that are small businesses under 500 employees from doing exactly what Oracle is doing right now. Because Oracle's not going to be affected if a couple of employees decided to go onto Google Reviews and say that it's a terrible place to work and look what they did with me with this email.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a small business and you've got 30 employees and you lay off 6 of them via email, and they all decide to get together and they want to go ahead and have all their friends leave you 1-star reviews, you're screwed.
Yeah.
There's no way out of that as a business once you go down that route. So I would say still for small businesses, this is not something that'll be that's playable. It's not something that's even doable for a small business today. But for Oracle, it works. People sit there. They probably go ahead and sign the DocuSign. They send their information in. They probably receive a check or a direct deposit the next day with whatever severance package they have. And it's like, see you later, buddy. Bye. And for me, when I look at this, I've got mixed feelings about that. When I look at the overall broader picture, I think it's very clear what's happening. There's two things. Number one, people have to understand that these are publicly traded companies in a lot of ways. And so just like when private equity comes in, they have a duty to a stockholder, a shareholder, a board member, depending on the size of the company. And that means they need to make a profit and they need to turn money. And in this case, you're looking at cost that is dragging a company down as they move into an AI infrastructure as opposed to a human infrastructure for software. And we see this in media a lot right now. The job that it used to take two people to do can now take one person to do. And when that kind of stuff happens, then you have no choice as a business owner but to adapt. I think that a lot of times when I see these layoffs, people will say something like, how could they do that to people? And I think there's a real thought that individuals have that it's somehow the company's fault or they're not running a profitable company, or they are doing something wrong to the employee by the termination itself. They're screwing them over. How could you do this to somebody when they've worked with you for so long? But sometimes it's not the company. In this case, from everything that I can read, it's not. It's an evolution of technology and jobs, and that these people are probably going to have to find something autonomously or with another company to be able to evolve in today's AI world. We have to understand that the job that it used to take three people to do, especially in tech, is now being done by one or zero people, and it's being done by a machine behind the scenes that works 24 hours a day. And in many cases, you don't need a person to monitor that output at the same level you did 2 to 3 years ago even, or let's just go back 2 years ago to like a chat, whatever it was, 3.0 or 4.0. And when you don't need the people to monitor the AI as closely, then you're going to obviously lose even more positions, which does help that company with its profitability and cost. So I can't blame the company for wanting to do that. I don't look at this as a situation where they were mismanaged, and therefore now because of that mismanagement, a bunch of people have to lose their jobs. It's an evolution of technology here rather than a mismanagement of funds. And that to me is a bigger deal.
I feel like now with AI, it's kind of coming to the point where it's like AI was like, it's going to help your job, make it easier and stuff, which obviously it does make your job easier. But then let's say for the people that got laid off, I feel like it's for the people that stayed on, it's kind of making them almost multitask with a bunch of different projects that they have to kind of manage with AI. And so you kind of have to kind of broaden your stuff that you have to learn, because you're not learning one single thing. You're going to be learning multiple things, and having AI just kind of take over, just kind of tweak everything with that.
I think it's going to be very interesting how these larger companies keep talent. Mm-hmm. Because if you're in a larger company, you used to be siloed into you do this, right? Yeah. And this is something, we've talked about this before. And I was really good at accounting, right? Well, if you're really good at accounting now, you're not going to have 10 people in your accounting department anymore. Maybe it's downsized to 2, and then you have a lot of AI doing the work, doing the monitoring, doing the reporting, and you've really got someone who's monitoring the AI. And so what they are is really a steward of the accounting AI that they have, which leads me to believe this. As you have people that become better at doing multiple things with the help of AI, how much more difficult is it going to be for larger companies to keep that person from going autonomous all on their own? And then I think the next evolution that you're going to find is that individual, that manager for the accounting department, realizes, hold on, I know all of these 6 programs, or I know how to use this program really well. I bet there's other account managers at other companies. Why would they not just fire them and have me as a fractional accounting manager for all of these different companies, where I can monitor the same AI and do exactly the same amount of work that I'm doing here but I can do it for 4 different companies and I can save them money. And now what you have is you've got one person monitoring 4 departments that used to take 40 people total in order to get it done. So I think what you're going to find is that individuals that are able to stick in there, they're going to become more autonomous. They're going to become more aware of just how valuable they are in understanding a wide breadth, a wide scope of what they're able to do with AI, that they're then going to go forward and say, you know what, I'm going to do this for other people. And then more people are going to lose their jobs. The question becomes, then where does it go? Like, what's the next evolution of this thing right here? Like, where do people find their work right now once they lose that? And in my opinion, I think it becomes a much more fractionalized society, meaning that larger companies are no longer heavy on workforce, but rather heavy on AI. And you have individuals that can compete against those companies because maybe they have some of these resources that are available to them at scale. Can you grab that? We got a live feed here right now. Here we go. Getting food, everybody. So now I got to eat at some point. So we have to do this live feed with that. Love it. Now that's how you know it's live. So I think that Chipotle, shout out. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, Anthony. So I think that what we look at here is, I think people are going to continue to see jobs, especially at a task that are templatable and repeatable that you do every day. Those jobs are obviously going to go first. And then you're going to have the people in the middle management that will come next, and then it goes up from there. This is not close to being the end. And it's only starting with tech.
And also, it's not even like it's the first time this has happened. This happens with everything. I feel like once a new thing comes out, it's just right now it's AI and taking all these jobs. Before it's the internet, and took a bunch of jobs with like, just like the whole creative things with like computers and stuff. It's always changing. It's always adapting. It's not there.
Yeah. I mean, graphic design was a big thing, was a high-paying job. Web coding, huge, high-paying job just 5 years ago. As you know, I'm developing an app right now, and I remember back in 2018 or 19 when I went to go first try to get the app developed, and I'm looking at these people, and they're charging just $500 an hour for coding. That now I don't know what that person is doing. Now I'm assuming that what they've done is they've become better at using AI, and maybe they're offering their services to other companies to bring them up to speed with where AI is. They become autonomous, is what I'm saying, as an individual. And I believe that the people who I really do that are going to be the most successful in the years to come are those that can take on understanding AI quickly and then being able to implement it in companies that are slow to react. Example would be this: a roofing company that is slow to react with AI. There's a lot of them happening right now. A lot of home service industries, they're just not doing enough with it. They might use ChatGPT every day or something for writing emails, but they don't understand the depth of what it's able to do for them. So you're going to have a lot of people that enter into that space in the next 12 months that were working for an Oracle, that were working for a Facebook, and they're going to say, hey, I can completely change your business by introducing I'll make it all work together and work for you. It'll be more efficient. It'll save you money, and we can lay off these 6 people right here. Once that begins to happen, which it will happen this year because too many people, thousands upon thousands, are being laid off, they'll have no choice but to try to become autonomous in something, bring value to companies in some way. That you're gonna see people that become very good at certain parts of AI, and then hopefully they're able to get into companies to help shift them in the right direction with their expertise. I think the issue becomes that, unlike maybe becoming an expert mechanic, right? I think AI is changing at a speed that it's very difficult for one human to keep up with what is the newest thing and the best thing to be implemented. And so it almost becomes like AI is the only thing that can keep up with AI. And if that's the case right there, God help us. All right. Because then the human factor is completely gone. That's going to be a tough place to be at.
And I feel like I think maybe just this year in general, I think just like a couple years ago, like there's AI a couple of years ago. Like maybe it wasn't as good, but it was there. It didn't really take its job. But I think now, since like the market's shifting, it's not doing as good as it used to be a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think all these companies are just looking like, oh, how can I save X amount of money? So it's like, oh, well, if I get rid of these 6 employees, that's 6 salaries right there for one AI thing I can use. And they're just trying to do
Yes.
different things.
And I think that there are a lot of people that have false. I think there's a lot of people who think they have job security that don't. I'll give you a good example would be like a door-to-door salesman right now. Okay. Like there are a lot of people who think I'm a door-to-door guy. There's no one who's going to replace me going door to door. I don't have like a robot that's going to go knock on doors for people. Right.
Yeah.
And to some extent, there's truth to that. Right. But as companies look at, let's just say, their ability to hone in on a target audience more effectively with AI, if people can drive down their CPL online, then will they put more funds towards door knockers, or will they put it more towards ad spend that they're able to get by real true targeting that they can get through AI? If you become so efficient with your ad spend online, whether that be through social media, whether it be through interest, obviously your Googles and your AIs, if you become so good at that, then you say, hey, listen, you know what? I don't need a guy going door to door. We're finding our customers in a way that we no longer need that service right there.
Mhm.
And so I think that there's this false pretense that people have that if you do something that requires some kind of physical effort going door to door on a construction site, you name it across the board, that somehow your job is safe, right? And I don't believe that's the case anymore. I think that people are looking at this and, I'll give you, if you were a job foreman for a builder, some kind of builder, whether you're building commercial or residential buildings, is there an AI from a drone that can go ahead and monitor what people are doing on site and be able to give a report on a daily or hourly basis about the progress and production that's happening? I bet there is. And does that mean that your job is no longer necessary in the field? And if it's not necessary in the field, then I'm sure as heck it's not going to be necessary the reporting, right? And so there's going to be this huge shift in the next 24 months. And companies like Oracle right now are simply just saying, we recognize the shift. We're very agnostic to it. We're not sitting here, oh no, we got to do this. This is where we're at. And we as a company have a responsibility to shareholders and to our product and our service that we offer to people who purchase it to go ahead and have the most effective and efficient product that we can. And therefore, they have to make moves. I hate the email thing. I mean, I still believe that somebody should have to sit in front of another person and have the terribly awkward conversation of terminating somebody from a company when it's not their fault. I have been on both sides of that equation. I've been terminated when the company was downsizing and honestly didn't feel it was my fault. I've been terminated when it is my fault and I haven't performed. And I think that, and I've had to terminate people for the exact same reason. And there's something about having to terminate somebody in front of you. There's a responsibility and a weight that goes with it. And man, I don't know about emails. I don't think I could do that. I know, and again, we're a small business, about 20 employees or so. And so I know I couldn't do that because somebody just come knock on the door. What am I going to do? Ignore them? I mean, we're right there. I can't just ignore that the person is there. But I look at this as an overall trend that we see within the tech community that you can't do at a small business level. That's for darn sure. So I think that people have really an option. When I see stories like this, I think it feeds into the fear. I think that's why they publish these stories. I mean, Oracle laying off 10,000 employees so far, upwards of estimates of 20 to 30,000. Some estimates go up that high. Oracle doing that is not going to affect the general public right now. Nothing about their service, they say, is being diminished in any way or suppressed. So the reason that an article like the Business Insider writes something like this is because it plays into the fear of the public. And the overall sentiment within the public right now is that I don't understand AI. Because I don't understand it, I'm at risk. And therefore, I don't like it. And I'm going to say really negative things about other parts of AI. Like for instance, oh, it's so bad for the kids and it's rotting away our ability to communicate with one another, only because you're not proficient in it. And so it makes people feel a lot better about themselves when they can go forward and they can say, well, it's all these bad things. No, you just don't get it. And so these articles get written because they play into that fear that Americans have already about AI. And it like plays into it like, oh man, more people losing their jobs. What's going to happen? How are we ever going to get through this? And that makes people want to click on it for that bias. It's just going ahead and playing right into what people already think in the fear that they already have. And then they want to share it and go, look, it's happening right now. And it is happening right now. I think there can be an and there. You can be fearful and it can be happening right now. And there's still an opportunity right now for people to get out in front of AI.
I know, like at least like Silicon Valley right now, they're going crazy, just working that like ass off right now, just trying to catch up with AI, trying to be ahead of the curve. Because I know, just like trying to be ahead of all of this stuff, because like AI just keeps evolving. And like 10 years ago, Silicon Valley, like they had like massage rooms and
Yeah, you're right.
places and all that stuff. But like, oh, we're just calm. Like you could be you got this like
beanbag chair via
yeah,
Google.
We got beanbag chair. We got these steak burritos you can eat.
Oh, you're
and
right.
Now
Yeah.
it's just like working. Like I saw like a thing. It was like 9 to 9 to 6. It's like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like Monday through Saturday, just working, just trying to catch up. And all this AI stuff. They just keep working, just trying to.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like, me personally, there have been many days where you've come in here and I sleep on that cot that's in there. And I think as a business owner, if you're waking up right now, how would I put this? I am waking up to the fact of how far we have fallen behind. All right. And honestly, I think that if most people looked at my business, they wouldn't say we're that far behind, but I realize it now, how far we've fallen in such a short gap. If you asked me this 6 months ago, I would have said, no, we're not behind at all. Now, because things have quickly shifted, we've fallen behind. I'll give you a good example of this. About a year ago, we did an exercise here. We spent, I think, like almost 2 full days as a team. We took off of the road, had everybody come into the office, and we split everybody into 2 teams. Okay. I think it was like 6 and 6 or something like that at the time. And the job was to create a fully animated sound, everything AI video, no human in it. And so we needed to create how would we do it is what our question was. Could we create something without ever stepping foot outside the office that was good? All right. What we came up, I have to find this video. Yeah. All right. And Javier, remember, got like the final video. He was able to put one together. And we tried to mimic a Salazar roofing ad. And this Salazar roofing ad was a really good video online. And we were trying to see if we could find a way to mimic it with AI and like find something that was reasonable that we could put out there. It was awful. And we had to go through, I think, I remember Javier saying, like, how did you do it? Because we talked about at the end, like, how close is AI to putting us out of business? And we were like, well, we had to go through like 7 different programs. We had to get a reference picture from a screenshot from the video, put it into here, then it went into here, then it went into like all these different things. Yeah. And by the time you got to the final product, it was so wonky because it had been through 7 different programs in order to get there. And it took time and money at every different step to make it happen. Today, not the case. I would have thought at that time, Anthony, that we were 2 to 3 years away from getting to a point where we could autonomously be able to create video content without having to have any like real people in it, mixed reality. We aren't that isn't the case anymore. We are there now. I could sit right here and create, if you had some money, it's going to take some money, credits, things like that on different stuff, but you could create completely autonomous videos of whatever subject you want without ever stepping foot outside of your office. And is that a good thing? Yeah, it's probably a good thing in the overall. I think that it is. Is it to a point, at least in the immediate, like right now, where you can do it at scale and it can be something that's really great. No, you still have to go out there and film right now. Reference images do help. But we are not at a point where we can create a full-length video at scale. That's good. That speaks to an avatar, that messaging, realism. You don't have all that yet, but it ain't gonna. If you told me it's gonna be a year, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And because of just how much progress has been made since we did that team activity, and Oracle is seeing it right now. They're having to spend a lot of money on cloud infrastructure, which means servers, which means that you've got data stations. We've got the one up there on the interstate, that weird looking building on I-4. You know what I'm talking about? Like that data center that's all glass that people have.
The one that's been building for 20 years.
No, it's a little bit further down. It's like the 3-story one. It's like a little bit down the ways right there along I-4. And it's like this whole glass structure right there. And it's a data center. It's like one more data center that we need. But, you know, these companies are realizing that the real money in this thing is not going to be in a big workforce with a big office and people that are customer service centers that are going to be helping you. It's an AI that never stops working and provides a great service. And then the cost and the margins are great. Low cost, high margins. Why not do it? My advice for someone out there this week who loses their job is that within one weekend, and I mean this, one weekend of strong YouTube, go to YouTube University, and you can learn AI that could be implemented into a company and become an expert very quickly in one AI, and then market your services as you doing them. No one needs to know how you do it. You just do it and figure out where the pain point is with companies in an industry that you already know. If you work for a roofing company for 10 years and you lose your job, what do you understand? Production, sales of roofing. Maybe it's, project management, whatever it might be. There is an AI that took over your job. You can learn that job and implement it in with other companies, or become a fractional project manager overlooking that AI for other companies and market your services to them so that you save them a bunch of money. You can go out there and you can use your knowledge that you have as an individual within your own vertical to learn something and then implement it in to other companies. And it'll take you one weekend. I know this because I was working with OpenClaw this weekend, and I was surprised at how easy it was. And I'm that person who's like very shy away from technology. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm like, technology, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be good. I hate new things. I am like such that person. I just want to keep doing it the way it's been done. Give me a pen and paper. Here we go. All my legal pads everywhere. But I think that for most people, though, they feel that a lot of people feel that way in their late 30s. But I was shocked at how now easy it is to use things like OpenClaw or Claude. The thought of coding for someone like me is crazy, but it can actually be done, and it can be done pretty easily. And knowing how to use these AIs and speak to them, you can really learn a lot on YouTube right now. There are people freely giving this knowledge, and then they're going out and they're selling this knowledge to small businesses who are behind in AI and are willing to pay to catch up. I'm paying somebody right now to catch us up autonomously on the way in which we shoot, edit, and deliver videos. Great. We need a better system in place. And so someone like that can do it for my business. There are other people out there that are experts in whatever they do. They can take that, what they're good at, use AI, become really good at it, and then implement it into companies with their knowledge. That's the future right there. Or they can just sit there and moan about the fact that AI is taking their job. But that's not going to help anything, all right? What's going to help is that if you take control of your own life and your own position right now, understand that the market is changing. The Internet 2.0 is happening right now, and you have the opportunity to take advantage of it. Someone like me, the reason I'm spending every day in this office is because I know I missed out on an opportunity back in 2008. I was too young. There was big opportunity right there when the upside came after the downturn in the market. People had a big opportunity. Could have made a big killing in real estate. I wasn't old enough at that time. I was still in college. I didn't understand the world. Now this is the next bubble. This is the next thing. This is internet now. This is going from dial-up to now we're not in dial-up anymore. All right. This is like the thing that people, if you realize you're in the moment right now where you can step away, look at the big picture that's happening, and you have an opportunity to make money on it right now. But I think that individuals, sometimes we get so siloed. This isn't a time to do that. It's not a time to be like this. It's a time to take a step back from where you're at in your company, realize that you're probably in a position where you could lose your job. And how right now are you going to make yourself indispensable somewhere? Is it going to be learning and learning how to implement AI? Can you become the AI, I don't know, VP of AI within your own company? With just a little bit of training, I bet you could. These are things that people should be thinking of so they can avoid what happened right here with Oracle. I mean, Oracle laying off 20 to 30,000 people, 12,000, I think are estimates in India is what they said. 12,000 in India alone, 10,000 so far already confirmed, I want to say in the US. It's just getting started. There's going to be a lot more. It says 70 tech companies so far in 2026. I would be shocked if that number is not 100% of tech companies by the end of 2026. I don't see how, if you're a tech company built around some kind of technology whatsoever, it's not all human enterprise. You're not picking up trash cans. You're not picking up stuff on the side of the beach or something like that. Like, I don't see how you don't downsize given the new technology that's being implemented. So that's what we're looking at right now, Anthony. Good story from you. A lot of layoffs. The email, I still have questionable feelings about, but Oracle with the layoffs. If anyone watches this, you see it on Facebook, drop a comment, see what you think. Would you ever email somebody and get rid of them that way? All right, everybody. Thanks a lot.